Good evening, everybody. I am in Leviticus chapter 3, and it's entitled Laws for Peace Offerings. Oops, I'm a little, looks like I'm out of whack here. If his offering is a sacrifice of peace offering, if he offers an animal from the herd, male or female, he shall offer it without blemish before the Lord. And he shall lay his hand on the head of his offering and kill it at the entrance of the tent of meeting. And Aaron's sons, the priests, shall throw the blood against the sides of the altar and from the sacrifice of the peace offering. As of the food offering to the Lord, he shall offer the fat covering the entrails and all the fat that is on the entrails, and the 2 kidneys with the fat that is on them at the loins, and the long lobe of the liver, that he shall remove from the kidneys. Then Aaron's son shall burn it on the altar on top of the burnt offering, which is on the wood of the fire, It is the flood offering with a pleasing aroma to the Lord. If his offering of for a sacrifice of peace offering to the Lord is an animal from the flock, male or female, he shall offer it without blemish. If he offers a lamb for his offering, then he shall offer it before the Lord. Lay his hand on the head of his offering and kill it in front of the tent of meeting. And Aaron's son shall throw its blood against the sides of the altar. Then from the sacrifice of the peace offering he shall offer as a food offering to the Lord its fat. He shall remove the whole fat tail, cut off close to the backbone, and the fat that covers the entrails, and all the fat that is on the entrails, and the 2 kidneys with the fat that is on them, and the loins and the long lobe of the liver, that he shall remove with the kidneys. And the priest shall burn it on the altar as the food offering to the Lord. If his offering is a goat, then he shall offer it before the Lord, and lay his hand on its head, and kill it in front of the tent of meeting. And the sons of Aaron shall throw its blood against the sides of the altar. Then he shall offer from it as his offering for a food offering to the Lord, the fat covering of the entrails, and the fat that is on the entrails, and the 2 kidneys with the fat that is on them at the loins, and the long lobe of the liver, that he shall remove with the kidneys. And the priest shall burn them on the altar as a food offering with a pleasing aroma. All fat is the Lord's. It shall be a statute forever throughout your generations, in all your dwelling places, that you eat neither fat nor blood. Well, I don't eat fat. I can't, I have issues with texture. If a meat, when I was a kid, if it had any kind of gristle in it, or I was like, I'm not eating any more of that. I can't eat it. I would completely lose my appetite. So that's just me. I haven't changed. I'm still that way today. Laws for the sin offerings. And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, chapter 4, And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to the people of Israel, saying, If anyone sins unintentionally in any of the Lord's commandments about things not to be done, and does any one of them, if it is the anointed priest who sins, thus bringing guilt on the people, then he shall offer for the sin that he has committed a bull from the herd without blemish to the Lord for a sin offering. He shall bring the bull to the entrance of the tent of meeting before the Lord, and lay his hand on the head of the bull and kill the bull before the Lord. Wow. And the anointed priest shall take some of the blood of the bull and bring it into the tent of meeting. And the priest shall dip his finger in the blood and sprinkle part of the blood 7 times before the Lord in front of the veil of the sanctuary. Well, I can tell you, if he wanted me to do that, I couldn't do it. It's not. I'm not. I can't do that. I can't kill something. It's not in my nature. That would, no. But that's just me. And the priest shall put some, unless somebody's maybe harming, trying to attack me or something, that's a whole different ballgame. And the priest shall put some of the blood on the horns of the altar of fragrant incense before the Lord, that is the tent of meeting. And all the rest of the blood of the bull he shall pour out at the base of the altar of burnt offering, that is at the entrance of the tent of meeting. And all the fat of the bull of the sin offering he shall remove from it, the fat that covers the entrails, and all the fat that is on the entrails, and the 2 kidneys with the fat that is on them, at the loins and the long lobe of the liver, that he shall remove with the kidneys, just as these are taken from the ox of the sacrifice of the peace offerings. And the priest shall burn them on the altar of burnt offering. But the skin of the bull and all of its flesh, with its head, its legs, its entrails, and its dung, all the rest of the bull he shall carry outside of the camp to a clean place, to the ash heap, and shall burn it up on the fire of wood. On the ash heap it should be burned up. If the whole congregation of Israel sins unintentionally, and the thing is hidden from the eyes of the assembly, and they do any one of the things that by the Lord's commandments ought not be done, and they realize their guilt, when the sin which they have committed becomes known, the assembly shall offer a bull from the herd for a sin offering, and bring it in front of the tent of meeting. And the elders of the congregation shall lay their hands on the head of the bull before the Lord, and the bull shall be killed before the Lord. Then the anointed priest shall bring some of the blood of the bull into the tent of meeting. And the priest shall dip his finger in the blood and sprinkle it 7 times before the Lord in front of the veil. And he shall put some of the blood on the horns of the altar, that is the tent of meeting before the Lord. And the rest of the blood he shall pour out at the base of the altar of the burnt offering, that is the entrance of the tent of meeting. And all its fat he shall take from it, and burn on the altar. Thus shall he do with the bull. As he did with the bull of the sin offering, so shall he do with this. And the priest shall make atonement for them, and they shall be forgiven. And he shall carry the bull outside the camp, and burn it up as he burned the first bull. It is the sin offering of the assembly. When a leader sins, doing unintentionally any one of all things, that by the commandments of the Lord his God ought not to be done, and realizes his guilt, or for the sin which he has committed is made known to him, he shall bring as his offering a goat, a male without blemish, and shall lay his hand on the head of the goat, and kill it in the place where they kill the burnt offering before the Lord. It is a sin offering. Then the priest shall take some of the blood of the sin offering with his finger, and put it on the horns of the altar of the burnt offering, and pour out the rest of its blood of the base of the altar of burnt offering. And all its fat he shall burn on the altar, like the fat of the sacrifice of peace offerings. So, that is right, okay. So priest shall make atonement for him for his sin, and he shall be forgiven. If any one of the common people sins unintentionally in doing any one of the things that by the Lord's commandments ought not be done, and realizes his guilt, or the sin which he has committed is made known to him, he shall bring for his offering a goat, a female without blemish, for his sin which he has committed. And he shall lay his hand on the head of the sin offering, and kill the sin offering in the place of the burnt offering. And the priest shall take some of its blood with his finger, and put it on the horns of the altar of burnt offering, and pour out all of the rest of the blood at the base of the altar. Ugh. And all of its fat he shall remove, as the fat is removed from the peace offerings. And the priest shall burn it on the altar for a pleasing aroma to the Lord. And the priest shall make atonement for him, and he shall be forgiven. If he brings a lamb as his offering for a sin offering, he shall bring a female without blemish, and lay his hand on the head of the sin offering, and kill it for a sin offering in the place where they kill the burnt offering. Then the priest shall take some of the blood of the sin offering with his finger, and put it on the horns of the altar of burnt offering, and pour out all of the rest of its blood at the base of the altar. And all of its fat he shall remove, as the fat of the lamb is removed from the sacrifice of peace offerings. And the priest shall burn it on the altar on top of the Lord's food offerings. And the priest shall make atonement for him for the sin which he has committed, and shall be forgiven. I'm going to go back. In between these two, there's something that really intrigued me, so I don't know what it just says, a wrong understanding of freedom. When the law is minimized, God's revelation is in his word is distorted. If the law tells us of the unchangeable will of God, then it follows that we should not, even if we could, discard the law. To eliminate the law is serious disturbance to the very word of God. But since the fall into sin in Eden, the perennial bent of humanity has been to do things that are openly repugnant to the will of the Creator. Man has become autonomous, a law unto himself, obeying no bounds. Oh, isn't that the truth? The claim of absolute freedom under the gospel, apart from any ordering of life, is based on a false conception of the gospel and a wrong understanding of freedom, which either sanctions disorder and anarchy or confuses law and gospel by assigning a normative function to the gospel. Once a church body begins to draw a wedge between the two doctrines, law and gospel, in a manner that subjects the law to disdain and denigration, it is courting anarchy. Joseph Tom Amalo, Women's Ordination and Limitless and Litmus Test for, what is that? Antinomianism. Interesting, very interesting. So, anyway, the word of the Lord. Thanks be to God in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. So, no wrong understanding of freedom here, as I know what's going on is not correct. We all have known, and we've been lied to, and that's unfortunately the facts of life right now. It's really, really unfortunate that we are living in these times right now. Truly. It's very upsetting. But that's all for this video. It's just hard to digest all this right now with everything going on, and I have a friend that uploaded something to my Facebook today that I need to investigate as well. But in the meantime, go in peace and serve the Lord. Sprinkle love everywhere like glitter. Love you. Bye.